Hello, Mortal family. How are you doing? Can you hear me loud and clear? Yeah. How are we doing today? Like your movie poster. What movie poster?
Oh my god, another one.
Another one, eh? Anuxa, thank you very much. Hello, Henrik. We can see and hear you. Thank you very much. Awesome. Hey, Henrik. Yes, and you. J45K. The excellence noob murder. I'm good, thank you all. Pretty good, can't complain. Got a little stretch wound in my side, but pretty good, pretty good. And we had some small technical in-house server issues that I've been pulling around with, but it's under control again, so that's good. Good day, Avira TV. Give us the deeds. All right, so got a new streaming Wednesday going on. We have a few things we would like to go through today. Why don't you know what your game needs? Add more content, dungeons, meteorites, etc. Not every spells, pets, and ranged weapons and daggers. Cyberjin, I think we have a pretty good view over the game, what we need and what kind of things we need to prioritize. Sometimes you don't see the entire picture when collecting reports, bugs, and issues. You know, you get the more wide picture. Then obviously, when it comes to selecting in-game content feature-wise, of course, that varies 100% depending on who you're asking, because that's what players are interested in doing in the game, right? And everyone obviously don't want the same thing in that specific order. But I think we have a very good view of it, and I talked to you guys about it many times, that now when we have all general basic systems in place, we can start pinpointing and also allow the community to chime in on what should be next, right? So you have your opportunity to vote for some of those, and what you're mentioning is on that list. Too late to start playing this. Angelo, like Diff is saying, we're about to start. So absolutely not. You're going in a still quite early phase before the masses may show up in bigger numbers. It's not an alpha. We are in a persistent state. We have a very huge system that a lot of people have been waiting on, which we call the TC, Territory Control System, that a lot of people have been waiting for. And we're getting very close to deploy that system finally, which means you can construct not only a house, you can also construct cities and siege other cities, take control over specific towers that give you more power and defense values, and we're looking at additional effects later on also. A lot of big things is coming in. So obviously your reputation matters. If you have an enemy guild nearby, you may want to be a little bit on your toes when TC gets live, because that means you can run around with siege machines. Who asked for Direwolf armor? Krakow, I have a Direwolf armor. Gonna show you soon. So yeah, let's get through a little bit what's going on here. We have some communication going out on the share market and so on, and we will also update the gaming community and a little bit more in depth on what's going on in this so-called final phase when it comes to deliver territory control. So as you know, we are facing the final steps here, which means I'm putting you on a big TV, baby. Awesome. So we have two phases we are going through, right? We're gonna invite a little bit more new players. We have a nice relationship with a very large network called MMORPG.com that collect a lot of MMO players, and they list mostly MMOs in focus on their website. It's a big network, and we have some nice plans with them ahead. So we're gonna start out with, as we mentioned, we want to collect a little bit more very important data on our servers. And that means we are inviting a few new players that have the opportunity to also try out the game, jump in and just try it pretty much while we collect important data. Again, we are preparing for, both the TC release and also in general the network updates we have been working on the past year. That also, we need to confirm certain things. So we're also properly prepared for the Epic Game release that happens after TC. So this starts on live server tomorrow. So you're not gonna notice any difference pretty much. It's just that there may be more players showing up in various locations. Besson, thank you for the subscription. Are there any new features adjusted that is being tested in this final PTR? Yeah, there's a lot of tweaks in this final PTR. So tomorrow live is gonna be run with specific stats and data collecting. As I mentioned, there's no new features, there's no TC added online, right? So you just continue as normal when it comes to live server. But we also have additional players showing up. So that is on live, right? But you can continue just as normal. There's no change pretty much for you. Next week, Monday, as it's looking right now, we're gonna run a final PTR setup. And you join the PTR just like you've done before. If you've done that previously, you just change to the test beta branch in Steam, right? And it patches automatically. And then you play on PTR server. On PTR server, we want you all that have, some spare time to join in on Monday to, we're gonna support you to set up a siege, right? We also have adjusted a lot of stats and balance on the magic. We have fixed some dangerous things, like you could place walls on the walls and head over mountains and walls. Important fixes to that. So it would be great for you to test magic again, confirm those issues, and also you will see that we have made an overall balance tweak on the magic as well on Monday, yes. Next to that, we have also updated and fine-tuned a lot of stuff for the PTR and the bugs reported when it comes to TC and sieging. So we are supporting you to set up a siege. We can use the Starvaltia city, and you can just go crazy, in groups, siege and fight. And we want to take the opportunity to record when this happens. So bring your squad. Dress up in fashion, and you are also free to record during this event. Try to use very low mouse settings, make sure you are close to 60 FPS, high textures, the rest can be normal. And even if it's just 10 seconds of a very cool shot, that could be interesting for us. So if you record anything you think this looks cool, feel free to send us a Google Drive or anything linked. We are very happy to get any community content, right? Because what we're doing is a new masterpiece trailer, and Mats is going to do his magic as usual, and it's pretty cool. You have the opportunity to be in this trailer, as a little one of those clips possible if it fits. And me and some in the staff team is also going to take the opportunity to record a little bit from our point of view. So hopefully you guys can help us final test those mechanics, and also, like I said, feel free to record and send us that if you want to. So that's gonna happen on Monday. I don't know if we need more than 1 day to do this. Maybe it's enough to cover all this on Monday. Obviously, it depends on what you think also, guys. If there's the need for more of those kind of fights and we support it and set it up, you know, we can always run another day if that's suitable. And then in the background, we are preparing fine tunes to actually have the final preparation to push it live the next week again is the plan, if something disastrous doesn't happen, that is. So we're close, ladies and gentlemen, we are close. So yeah, very important steps starting tomorrow and next week, where we cover the final stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much TC focused, and then you know, finally we are live finally with all the construction and the battles you've been waiting for. You have been quite persistent, going sieging each other's with hammers. Not very efficient, but even so, you have managed to do quite some pre-sieging. Now you get the real tools. No, so we're gonna post this on the website as well, right? And send out newsletter, so it's 100% clear for everyone. Tomorrow start a live data collecting, so you won't notice any difference. You play just as normal on live. We invite new players to live also, so there may be an influx of new players showing up. Obviously, they all start on Haven, right? And then slowly over time they drop in into Milan, right? And we are collecting very important data on the server side. So there's no feature update or any teaser update for you guys. The next week again, on Monday, that's when we plan to do the PTR event, where we set up a siege for you guys. You can record, we're gonna record, and we take the opportunity to overlook, you know, all the final adjustments. Schnull with the bits, thank you. Henrik, once breeding is out, I think to let dominators breed, but unlike tamers, the dominator cannot trade them, you cannot breed buzzers like spider queens, miniature kings, etc. Like you can only breed, for example, Kalinos and Tagmatons. Basically, the dominator breed or bound to the dominator. That's something we need to look into when we're not 1000% busy and focusing on all the TC stuff, right? We can only look in front of us right now on these big leaps, and you know, extremely busy and obviously a little bit stressed. So yeah, we have to look into those other steps when TC is fully delivered, so we can kind of breathe between. Henrik, can you disable the middle graveyard guards? They are too close. So there's gonna be quite an update, as you may know, for the epic patch, when the criminal system, security zones, protection from high end to no security, no flaggings rules. So we're not really touching that, as it's gonna have almost an overhaul, right, with the epic patch. But things will become much more clear when that system is deployed, and also for obvious reasons, right? We have a lot of new players showing up, and it's just a lottery for them. If they take 2 steps out of or in the wrong city, they are goner. So you know, we need to handle that, as you can understand, to have a steady growing population rather than a lottery, right? Yes, Big Smith, that is the plan. All right, like I said, we're gonna post all this on the website, so you don't forget about the PTR stuff that you can participate in. Are we gonna see new AI during TC? You said something about how Mortal is going to have AI never seen before. Yes, that is actually correct. So in the background, we have been fiddling around a little bit with new generation AI to be used in a MMO game like Mortal 9. Never seen before, never done before. and this is gonna be the future, and all games is gonna follow. Within a year or so, you know, you're gonna recognize this in many games. But we're gonna be world first. Not only world first in Unreal Engine 5, but also in you know, one of a kind AI technology. We're gonna show this a little bit later. It wasn't the plan to reveal the details of that right now, but there's some really cool stuff going on that we're very excited about showing you. And yeah, it's gonna be a killer. Who's getting sieged first? So what's going on with ACT and the Coalition? Or is it still going on? Is that gonna be something on TC release? I haven't been following the latest drama. Makes sense too, if anyone been watching what the AI has been doing with Unreal in the general, so this sounds epic. It doesn't sound epic, you know, it is insanely epic. It's ridiculous. I get goosebumps when I'm thinking about it. It's groundbreaking. It's a whole new experience. And I'm sure you've seen some of those Unreal Engine Matrix demo when someone is talking with this so-called AI. It's just groundbreaking, and it's the new way of experience AI in gaming. We're gonna be world first as it stands right now. If no one else beat us, obviously, but right now we are on path on being first. Coalition is dead until further notice. Oh my god. Koto lost their officers. All this drama. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? ACT will never stop until Coalition is destroyed. AI is so hot right now. It is, Tomberry. It is. And I mean, it just blows everyone's mind when you see what it can do and how it works today. It's like light years ahead compared to just, you know, up till yesterday, pretty much, right? It's been it taken a leap that is so huge that it's like a completely new generation, right? And obviously we're gonna make use of it as much as we can. And you know, now when it's completely new, groundbreaking and exciting, you know, I hope that we also bring additional attention that holy shit, you can actually experience these kind of things in a real sandbox game released even in Unreal Engine 5. And that is Mortal QnA 2, baby. World first. There's an ACT house in Code Keep right now. What in the earth? What in the earth? The thing is, I'm not just talking about cool thing. I'm talking about improved experience also for new players and anyone, because we can utilize a whole new type of AI that is so powerful that the game experience becomes better, more efficient, and interesting. So I'm not just talking about fluff here, right? But obviously, this is a field that can go infinitely. So obviously, we need to still make sure we cover the absolutely most important things first of all, and then utilize what is very helpful and powerful in this new way without building insane systems ourselves, right? Yeah, Demon Man, if it was that easy, maybe in 20 years from now, maybe that's gonna be how you do it. Dodge, kinda. No, I'm not showing the AI today. Someone sneaked in a little pre-information on that one, so I just fill in a little bit on it, and that's something we're gonna cover a little bit more later, but not in this stream. Right now, 100% focused on the final steps of TC, right, and delivering TC in a good way. And then the next big step, the biggest step in Mortal QnA 2's history is the Epic Game platform launch under Unreal 5, and yeah, some very important new updates. Looking slay. What do you mean with slay? Laurel, that is a very good estimate that you know, we are working towards, actually. That is true, Ethic, also, I think. We can always tell the AI to not be too toxic, right? But there's gonna be that is the very excitement part of it also, how you can define what kind of experience they're gonna give you, right? There will be madmen, there will be sharp intellectual ones, there will be leaders and rogues and all kind of stuff eventually, right? How to deal with the insane amount of people flooding in. The one is you don't have the capacity for it yet, right? So the thing is, we don't know the final capacity. That is why we're doing these steps that we're doing currently to get that kind of data. We have been working on the network part pretty much since day one after the Steam chaos that happened. So we will have the more accurate numbers very shortly is the plan. We have by far much better numbers than we had, obviously, during the Steam release. And we haven't gotten close to any capacity caps so far since. We have been working on overall capacity. We've been working on large-scale battles. And you guys showed and confirmed our latest update on the large-scale battles. We were counting around 400 something in one zone. It was the Acolysia fight, right? We are above 400 players, and everyone confirmed that the network, there was no lag whatsoever. The only hit was the obvious FPS hit, right? We plan to optimize the FPS further, but that shows that we can have world's largest battles without any network issues. No, I've actually explained that a few times, Dutch. Our server isn't crashing at 1600 players. I could go through it again if people doesn't remember what is causing that, and that we already have fixed it, but you won't see it until we patch TC, because we can't lift in some parts and push it live. It goes in a big package for the TC build. We have one node that keep going down at a certain thing that happens. People at Goldfish Memory. A node goes down frequently, every now and then, and we can only have so many backups. And when that goes wrong, it leads to a crash, right? So, and we have fixed that already, and we're also planning to fix the backup that can loop infinitely rather than just a few ones. And that should mean we shouldn't have that kind of crash anymore. But yeah, obviously understandable. The more stress there are, the more cycles of this crash happens. That happens more frequently the more players there are, right? So the more players, the more frequently that node goes down. But it is fixed already on PTR, and that goes live with the TC patch, right? So hopefully it's gone when we go live with TC. So we just have to endure until we go live with TC. We can't fix it until then. I hope that makes sense. What is self-care routine? You look incredible. Thank you, Wabi Sabi. I don't do much. All natural. I try not to stress. Try to eat good. Try to train. Try to get a little touch of sun so I get the D vitamins. And that's all. But when does the server die? Every Sunday. It doesn't. It died 2 Sundays because of some other issues that we also posted about. But what happens on Sunday, and obviously in the weekends also, is just like I said, we have more players, right? And the more cycle it goes, the more frequently the node goes down. And the more frequently it goes down, the backup dies, which leads to a full crash eventually if we don't reboot it earlier. So we're rebooting now before that happens, mostly. So it's not a magical number, bam, it always crashes. It slowly builds up over time. And that is why we have pretty much 2 reboots now every week to try to minimize that build up. But if we get a huge influx of new players, that builds up faster. So obviously we want to push TC live as soon as we can to have this fixed, right? But we can't just leave that in. But yeah, I hope it makes sense. And I fully understand why people can see it like that, right? Oh, there's a lot of people now. It's Sunday. Bam, I know it going down. I get disconnected. We fully aware, and obviously we are just as frustrated as you. We really want to deliver it as fast as we can, but we also want to make sure we deliver it good. We had one host maintenance also. I don't remember exactly what it was. They did a little sneaky update downtime, which we didn't get any information on, and we didn't take the time to look on their pages with updates. So we missed that one, and then we noticed that was going on. Obviously something we are making sure that we are fully covering and monitoring all of that. Cards on the right are so looking like Björn from Walking White Viking. Yugoslav, you think so, eh? Yeah, you know, it's true, it's true. Could be Ragnarok or Björn. We were quite inspired by some of those shots when we're trying to do the beard and hairstyles, because it's the Vikings, right? The colors. We need to fix the house chest, not working. It is on our list, J45K, we are working on that one. There have been some struggle to try to get the exact reproduction case. J45K. I know you showed that on a live stream. I didn't cover all of it, but could you reproduce it? Can any one of you reproduce it 100%? So make a video, this is how you do it exactly. Because just walking back and forth to it and opening it works most of the time for us when we tried it. So I know they know about it already, but I always know it's also more helpful if we get a really clear clarification. Someone last stream was kind enough to write something to me, but we were a little bit confused by it. It wasn't his first language either, and there was no video. House chests have been working perfect fine, and we got overall like 50 plus in our house. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? It happens in a specific way, and that is the trick. It's when you go to different nodes and come back. J45, so you mean if you are at your house and then you go to another node and then go back to your house, you can't open the chest? Or is it 50-50 you can't open it? Is it 10% you can't open it? Or is it 100% you can't open it? Happens a lot when you leave the node and come back. Yeah, I understand that part. But like I said, is it 100% or just random? Just so I know that as well. Is it like random? Because that's the strange thing. Code usually don't give random cases. Like there's always a specific thing that happens, and that is what we try to identify that makes it 10 times faster and easier for the codes to actually work with it. It's extremely likely it happens. Okay. All right. It's typically when somebody changes the password while you're in the node with them. Okay. So now I have two different cases here, right? One changing someone else changes the password. So that means if you and me stand in your house, I open it, you have access, and then all of a sudden you change password and I try to open it again, just standing there. Could that lead to it, demo man? Or am I wrong? Yes, 50-50. So maybe it's not that. Yeah, this is the tricky part. We understand there is a problem, right? The problem is to reproduce it. I mean, we throw this to the test group, the QA group, with all the information we got so far in reports, and they haven't managed to 100% reproduce and solve it. But we know there's an issue, and obviously we need to secure it, right? But it's always helpful, right? If someone knows this is how you do it 100%, or, anything help. Puto of the Poots. It is in the office, Puto. It's waiting for you. I know that is an error. I'm unsure if it's the same one people are having. Yeah, that's the problem, right? So, but we will figure it out. We should be able to secure it and cover it. But like I said, if anyone have a repro case, that is extremely helpful, and that will help us solve it faster than sooner, right? Seems to happen mainly when you leave the node and come back. The weird thing is that sometimes some of the chests still work. All right, we will let QA crunch through a few of those sessions, then leave the node, go back, and see if that gives us a case of that. Obviously, that should be helpful if we manage to do that. Horse desync is a big issue now. How do you mean, Krakow? Do you have a video information? Yeah, I thought that was one of the key information as well, that relogging fixes it. That is also, you know, important information. For me, it's like 50-50 that I can open the chests when you move back and forth the Randy, right? Not if you just log in your house and try to do it. When you move around, right? That's when that happens. Yeah, only fixes relogging. Yeah, and that is also very important information, because if we can tell the coders along with all this, relog fixes it, then you know, they can look into some specific states and also help securing when it's not working. So hopefully we have this one covered also in upcoming patch. Could you please tell me if we have some time to move pets from house Equerries when TC is out until we build new stables? Yeah, we're quite careful when it comes to the Equerries and Priest. Also because a lot of you guys pointed out one important balance function around Priest in keeps strongholds, right? Those are well used, a very important component, right? If we just remove them from the stronghold and keep, you have to 100% rely on the priest's construction outside the building, right? Which means if you're under siege, you're on the roof trying to defend your stronghold, you get killed, you can't just resurrect by the priest inside the stronghold and gear up again and try to defend, right? So it's quite an impact. Do you guys follow? You know, I mean, we got reports on that already, but that is something obviously we want to be careful about, so we don't go in and wreck up defensive options harshly, or you know what I mean. Yeah, when I move around. Yeah. I think I got it. Horses stuck in node lines, so it makes horses be slaughtered miles away or in different locations. We had ghost avatars and node lines in the past, which everyone confirmed fixed. Are you telling we have a new case, Krakow? Can people confirm we have a new case? Is it specifically horses? Are you running on them? Is it when you're 2 on it? Do you have any more information on that one? I am not 100% up to date when it comes to that specific one. And yeah. Only horses. So if you're riding on a mulva or something else, wolf, it doesn't happen. Is it when you are mounted only? It never happens with your pets that are on follow mode. Horses sometimes are outside my stronghold on other players' screens. So it's when it tries to enter a building. I'm not sure if we are talking about some different cases here. Only happens while I'm not on my horse though. Okay. So that will mean pets in general in follow mode that can desync. Pets following inside house can desync. I think that will be the same issue then. Horse gets stuck on no line and gets killed when my horse is inside a house. Okay, so I guess we have a case. And you're not on them, right? Is that a lead key? You have a pet on follow mode, and then it's on another location as well. Because we had this on players, right? And that was quite devastating, but we fixed that many patches ago. It sounds like we have the exact same issue with pets now, right? So it sounds like we need to check into the location and synchronize the location a little bit here. We can fix it by getting on them. We don't know their distinct to get on them. Are you sure about that then? So if you see your horse is getting attacked by miles away, do you solve it by mounting it quickly? Does that mean it disappears from that guy over there hitting it and you saved it? Can someone confirm that for sure? Okay. I mean, this is getting us some important information. It could be that our guys have this reported and covered already. I assume you reported this in game, right? But the more information we have on a case like this, the easier it is to try to... All right. All right, good, thank you. Yes, we have a few tasks on troll AI buses, leashing function, and securing the boss fights. Obviously, we want to make sure those are as solid as possible. But Tagmaton plans to be rideable soon. So I think Tagmatons will be mountable if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, most creatures where it fits and makes sense, you will be able to mount over time. We plan to do another bunch of creatures that you'll be able to mount, like the Campadon and some other creatures. And one option is if you want to add a Lycator in one go, or if you want to continue down the list of the current ones. The Lycator it's a really good mount, right? It's not as fast peak as horses, but they have, we're gonna eventually have the jumping function back where they jump higher and also have a little bit steeper climbing ability than horses. So they're quite a popular mount in Mortal 1, and obviously they're gonna be similar in Mortal 2. They're just gonna be refined visually. They're gonna have their update and stay a little bit again more true to how they're supposed to be. So yeah, and I think a lot of people are missing the Lycators, so maybe we will take a little break from crunching through all the other creatures, add a Lycator, and then slowly over time bring the rest. Sounds in here also that most agree to that plan, so that's good. Yeah, they're really cool, and they're gonna look even cooler in Mortal 2. JVX, are we talking about when they go back and forth over that ledge when it comes to the Minotaur, or are we talking about another case? I'm not 100% up to date all the different cases, but we are looking into the leash function to make it obviously as challengeful as possible to take down these mighty beasts. Also, we can get a drop loot icon to noobs, so they can click it while robbing them. That could be a good quality of life, right? Have a little drop loot, mercy, I surrender thing. Eventually we want to add this function, it could be along with thievery, where you say surrender and it raises your arms, and that actually allows you to frisk them, you can check their bags. So, I think we have it covered already in that one. I've died to bugged rocks in jungle. Any news on that? That is too vague to me. I'm not aware of what that means. Bugged rocks. I've seen a player no-lined on a MOLVA like 2 days ago. What do you mean? That's a ghost player on a MOLVA on an online, and he's not there, or what do you mean? Now I'm going to frisk someone. A lot of people have been asking for that. They say, I would not kill all of these noobs if I could just frisk them and move on. But since they could have something, I kill them instead. So obviously that's a win-win, right? People love it, it's cool, it's a nice, actually a nice experience, even though it can be a little bit harsh for one of them. And it could spare a lot of lives. And it was cool in Rust, right? And I think it fits very well in our game also. So we will have it. Obviously it's still an option. I'd rather be frisked. Indeed. Indeed, right? Even Jake, the mighty noob killer, said he will spare all those lives if he could frisk them. So of course we need it. And there will be eras where you don't want to spend murders, and you may have to take a murder, or you just frisk them. So I think it's a win-win. Where it's not dying. I mean, you do leave your body, right? So it kind of makes sense why you drop dead and he enters the spirit world. Jeffrey is still gonna kill him. He told me that he would spare all of those lives because he thought, well, he may have it. He have told some of them drop loot. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. And if they don't, he always kills them, right? I think we can spare a few lives if we have the frisk system in, no doubt. But of course, you know, we can't save them all, right? That's a good rule. That is a good rule. I'm not sure when we're gonna have poker, but I want it soon. I will love to sit in a tavern and just play poker with you guys, socialize and steal your money, you know? That would be really fun. Just chill. Are we getting an easier jewelry farm option or drop rate? We are getting more and more over time. We will have a little bunch planned for TC and a big bunch planned for Epic release. Yeah, we need some different table games, that's for sure. Yeah, call me Skims. We can see that's not a very smooth step. There's a few things we need to consider and possible implement when it comes to stolen goods and be able to drop them, stuff like that, right? Yes, we're gonna have Texas Hold'em for sure. Snap Goblin, no. I'm not stealing anyone's money, right? I'm talking about your gold money. We all need to make a living in the game, right? And you know, I can play Texas Hold'em, and I've been challenged by many of you already. So let's see. Should be fun. You can always play on the lower end, the silver tier table, or the gold table. I know who's gonna play away all his money when we have Blackjack patch day. Right, Jake? Right. But that gaming, thank you for a subscription. 20 months. That is insane. That is crazy. Thank you. Henrik Lords and Tats stream a match. What? What are you saying? Are they... I don't follow. And the dice game from Kingdom Come Deliveries is pretty cool and simple. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that was, but you know, we're gonna have some dice games, maybe something like chess. We're gonna have blackjack, and we want Texas Hold'em, and then you know that list is endless over time, right? If there's something suitable we want to add, we may be able to add that. We want you, Loros and Tess, to stream some Tebby games when they get released. Ah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna show you how to pick Jake clean from his gold, right? I'm gonna show you. He play with motion, not odds. So I'm gonna frisk him clean. Can I make a statue of my character in Teen Room? Demo man, how the hell did you deserve a character in Teen Room? You have to be the arena champion for 3 months a raw for the Emperor to possibly make such reward. And then that statue may change if you lose your title. We have some cool plans for the future arena system. Not only go in there and fight, but actually some cool rewards. On 3 months, I mean that you have to defend your title for quite a while, right? Stonefeather, and we want people to have the chance to steal it, right? But obviously those numbers will be tweaked. There will be at least once a month where the Emperor, you know, watches the fights and also gives some nice rewards, you know, on top of the classic betting and title ranking system. If there's an Emperor of Tino, why have I never seen him? Jogi, come on, man. What's your sophistication? What's your standings? He doesn't just walk the streets. He's in the castle. That's why. But he may visit the arena when it's time. I don't think there's anyone that could hold it for 3 months right now. No, like I said, we will go over those numbers, right? You know, we will make it a nice challenge and some interesting opportunities for those that want to participate. Steal a statue that weighs 2 tons. How the hell do you do that, Stonefather? Henrik is obviously the Emperor. You will see the day he steps out. Hermione, your standings isn't enough. When you have proper standing, you will eventually be able to enter specific buildings, such as the castle. And, you know, we have more depth that obviously will be expanded on. We're taking one of that step, actually, with Epic Patch, where... you know, the whole task system and standing matters more, and that ties to what you can access also. You cut the statue in half and put it on 2 mulvas, but how do you do that when there are guards around? How do you cut it in half? It's not a simple deed. With the power of illusionism, that could be something. That could be something. But how the hell do you pull it down is the question. What are Star Wars' plans to stop murdering guilds like Total Horde from griefing places like Tinram? That whole area is so locked down that the new players can't even play there. So XMO, this is the big epic new player experience patch that's gonna handle a lot of griefing of noobs, pushing out noobs. We all understand, even though some people may find it funny. It's not really something that is suitable in a game like this. There needs to be some kind of starting area for new players where they can get going, right? And these are starting noob areas with high security. So obviously that means you shouldn't be able to be easily killed left and right. So that's going to happen. We're going to work hard on that. And then obviously the further out you go, the more risk and reward there will be. And that's also when you obviously have to prepare and adapt to that kind of threats. So there's gonna be a big update with the Epic Game new player experience. Zipcoda, we are looking to over time flush out Accuracy and Priest. We're not 100% sure yet in what phase and speed of that, but that's what we think, and I think also the community, you know, can agree along with that. Dear Henrik, I love your game and you with Star Vault guys, because you make that great game. I'm playing 24/7 on MO2. The Devil says, thank you very much. We are very happy to hear that you enjoy the game. And you know, we are all in the same, we are all a big family here, right? We are all here for the same reason. Theory still the first thing after Epic, right? Or did it change? I'm not 100% sure. So I did mention to the community that I think it makes sense for us to make what I call the community interaction step, which means we're gonna present several features and options on the forums, and you're all gonna be able to read them a little bit more in depth to see what it's all about, and then you'll be able to kind of put your votes and comments on what you are most interested in, and hopefully that will show us a more clear list of a prioritized order of things where most people want, you know, what they want to go in the game first. We all know all those features are going to be in the game, but the question is in what order, right? And I think it makes sense to allow you to have a input in deciding order. I think most people thought that was a very good idea, and that helps us also to pick the right things, right? What are the spell balance changes? So we went through all the feedback since PTR2, taking note. Some of it makes sense, and we tweaked the numbers based on that and based on the results. There were some extreme scenarios that bypasses some stuff that we also have to modify gameplay rule wise. So you will see on PTR3, you can test them all again just to see how the numbers, mana damage went up and down for the different spells, and also the fixes on those obvious possible exploitable situations. Will we be able to report friskers if they steal our stuff but don't kill us? Good question, good question. Maybe you can report them and they will lose a little bit standing if it's nearby in that area. So there's gonna be zones, right, where the nations have control, but outside these zones it's like no man's land. Nullsec in Eve, right? So what happens there goes, you know, without anything. But as soon as it's within the nation-controlled zones, there are possible ways to report, to lose and gain different standings based on actions. So the entities that is the last and final group in elementalism is a elemental familiar that you can summon, and it will be bound to your body, like hovering above your shoulder or swirling around your body, and it have different kind of protection bonuses, etc. You can also command this to send on a friend or foe, which also means he will either obviously give that bonus to him also, or that negative effect on opponents. So that's in short how they're gonna work. These familiar cute, or are they just a color? So they are elementalists, right? Element of the elements we have in elementalism. So it's not gonna be a little rabbit, not that type of familiar. You know, it's like a, if it's a water element swiveling your body, it's gonna look like a nice, interesting element of water swiveling around you. If it's a light orb above your shoulder, You know, it's gonna follow you there. So it's gonna be natural, the element visuals. A little bit of standing loss if you attack someone, bigger standing loss if you kill them. If someone can convince someone to allow them to be frisked without attacking, then no standing loss. Maybe something like that, yes. This hitching be fixed for PTR3. So we want to confirm and identify the status of that on PTR3. We thought we found the reports in the earlier PTR where we had heavy loading of new TC assets, where we had additional collision data that caused hitches when you run around and load these assets. They have all been converted into proper collision that isn't as heavy, which means they should be back on, you know, as hitchy as it was pre that. We still have the general hitches when you run around and load huge areas and biomes. That won't be improved and fixed until we do the Unreal 5 transition. So there's still gonna be what you're used to, kind of, right? Can a familiar protect mages? Yes, they have different bonuses and things they do to protect you. Like one, for instance, is gives you air, so you can just dive down deep and it will help you with better air breathing. Which is different from the air bubble, right? You just place that for you or your team, but it's static, right? You know, obviously one of them follow you as a light. One may be boosting your temperatures in different ways that you may need. There will be some different boosts that may affect your stats a little bit. Yeah, we have enchantments on the roadmap, you know, somewhere, we don't know where yet, right? Where you can enchant your gear and clothing, weapons and so forth. We have to look into possible tweaks. We want to be careful about doing it, but there are some things we want to improve in the old magic schools when we have delivered elementalism before we move forward. So I can be a speedy human. No. We don't have an element that just buffs your speed, because we know how impactful that is, and we are very careful about when it comes to what kind of buffs we add, so that doesn't just become the new super meta, right? Thank you, Henrik, again for last week's giveaway. I gave the key to a friend to get him into the game. He's already really liking it. Awesome to hear, Donatel. Awesome to hear. That is really nice. We're slowly moving in a very exciting position, right? I mean, we have some golden days ahead. We have TC around the corner, which obviously we all been waiting for. There's going to be a lot of action across the world. The important network optimization steps and the node crash fix. A lot of different good things going in the patch also. And then we have a very, very big important patch, as you all know. The epic patch, and that is a big mofo. You know, not only do we move over to Unreal 5, we also improve the world transition level streaming issues. You know, the obvious lumens and nanites that just gonna make the game look even better. Overall better FPS. We're gonna, you know, have a nice optimized setup for all the cities. I mean, the game gonna take leaps forward, and this is also where we put it on the world map together. Open up the gates. Gonna have a new addition to AI behaviors and function that is just the beginning, but groundbreaking. You know, it's an exciting future, and we're just getting into those big steps very soon. Profro, thank you for the tier 24 month. That is crazy. That is crazy. 2 whole years and many more to come. Can't wait for the next big patch. Yeah, 2 years. Holy shit, time flies, man. That is nuts. Profo, you joined in the... Was it in the stress test? Or when did you join us? I don't remember exactly, but I saw you stream a lot from stress test and in periods. It was really entertaining to follow the progress. Was it around the stress test or was it earlier? I don't remember exactly. I joined early beta. Ah, okay. Already, so quite before, yeah, 2 years. So that was before the stress test, right? Yeah, that's a journey. And now finally, we're taking these big steps that we obviously wanted earlier, but holy shit, the journey and the challenges have been quite the thing. Especially for a smaller team, but you know, I'm very proud of the team. I'm proud of the community that have been supporting us. And we're getting there. I can feel a taste. I can feel it, sensation, the tangling spider senses. You know what I mean. But you guys do stress tests. I'm a software engineer, but I want to just stress testing using tools like Gmeter or K6. Multiple steps. So we can't just apply a traditional software in all cases here, right? As you can imagine, almost everything have been built from scratch and also been further developed, also rewritten over the years to improve it, and also to obviously support Unreal Engine 5 now. So there's quite a lot of different areas when it comes to how we stress test things, how we monitor it, how we throw out logs and data. There's a lot of different services that everything goes through, right? And we noticed that also during Steam stress test. We ran into one cap roof, solved that one, run into another one, and it continued for that for quite a while, right? That's why we also extended the stress test. But then all of a sudden, nothing. It was all fine. We didn't run into a new cap. Greatly improved the game, greatly optimized it already there. And then we didn't, surpass additional numbers that kind of showed us the next, possible bottleneck. And it's very hard to use bots and scale up things when things works in very specific ways. And obviously we run into a whole new ballpark of issues along with the real Steam release phase that kind of show us a whole new box of chaos. But we are through all of that. We improved all of that also in the same way as we did in the stress test. And hopefully we are in a very much improved position, which we already know we are now because you guys have helped us confirm large-scale battles. We couldn't handle above 100 without players noticing the lag, and we can also see that lag on the servers, high millisecond peaks, going down, up around several seconds of delay when we have above 100 player battles. After our work was done, we had 420 something or 450 players doing the same kind of battle down to 2 milliseconds. That is insane. So large battles, we're quite in a good position there compared to previous states. Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit slow here on the topics. Thank you. Let's move on a little bit here. We covered the recap. We talked about the influx of players tomorrow, monitoring data, the server, and we talked about next week. We're gonna post these steps on the website and send out newsletters. Next week we have the PTR confirmation of all the latest updates, and help us guys participate in a big siege. Record as much as you want and can. Send that over to us if you want to be movie stars in our upcoming epic TC trailer. And we're gonna do some recording as well, obviously. And then we can proceed on the next step, which is deploying TC. What about collectible card game? So we can search for cards, gather our deck, and play with each other's in Nave. Avira TV, we actually talked about this many times over the years, that we want features that is exactly like that, right? I actually thought of a thing that is very similar, which is you can collect rare familiars, small magical creatures in the world, from rare to common, and you can train them up. You can let them fight against someone else. What does it sound like? It sounds almost like Tamagotchi, right? Pokemon, a little bit also, right? But it's a cool thing, and it does fit in this magical world. Obviously, again, if the majority don't think this is something we should be focusing on the upcoming roadmaps, you know, obviously we are postponing that if that is the case. If we can see that a lot of people is casting their votes on specific features, this could be one of them, and we want them, like, you know, somewhere here in the upcoming roadmap. We want to make it happen, right? So that's why I think it's going to be fun to engage with the community when it comes to going through all these options of features. I mean, it's endless. We have no limitation. Our freaking coders can deliver anything now, pretty much. It's just all matter of time and prioritize all of things. So with your input, collectibles in one or another form could be something we want to add eventually. Just a matter of when, right? Sounds fun, but so much stuff needs to be done before then. It needs lots of quality of life, map updates, new weapon, magic before then. Like I said, right, this list is endless, and depending on who we ask, it's a nay or a yay, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see if we can actually get a majority indication of the options presentable for our next upcoming roadmap. If people have some kind of general agreement that, yeah, these are the top 5, right? And then the rest is secondary. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's so even that even that will be a challenge. But I think there will be something standing out, right? And we also know there's a few things that are close to core functions, expanding your character, that I think should be early in the game. But then, like I said, there's an endless list. If you look at my old Mortal Online book that I started back in 2005 or 2006, we only scratched the surface when it comes to features, which is insane, right? So it's not that we have, you know, we have done Mortal Online and, you know, what's next? Holy shit, no, we have so much we want to add over time. But I want to make sure that we pick the right things, and that's where you come in, right? Where is this book? That is the internal magical secret book of game design in Star Wars. I wrote the general game design many years ago to have that as a base for when we started the development. And there's a lot of cool things. When I read it today, I almost forget about some of it, that I think, holy shit, that is a cool thing. I wonder if we want it earlier than later. I mean, I wrote a function that exactly describes dark and darker, and I thought, you know, sometime that function would be cool, maybe the players want it. And then Dark and Darker was released, and everyone loved that. So that could be a feature that a lot of you want to vote for and want it earlier than later. And I wrote that back in 2006 and thought it was a cool feature where you kind of go to this other dimension, aka dungeon location. You fight as a team from solo to a group. You meet each other, you gain rares and values and treasures, and only one side goes out as a victory, right? You know, it seems like there's a big interest in that kind of gameplay. And it fits and works, and it's even cooler in a persistent game like Mortal Online, right? So there's a lot we're gonna present to you, and you can read up on all that, and then cast your votes. I mean, obviously, developers are inspired from each other, right? I mean, again, it was quite a thing. When we made our first prototype of this first of a kind real-time combat, when we were contacted by, who was it again? Not Chivalry. Was it Mountain Blade? Could be Mountain Blade. Some of their leads contacted us, wanted to help us make something like that because they were also experimenting with combat. And they kind of saw how our system worked, and then poof, they disappeared. And then a year later or whatever it was, we got these games, right, based on our combat system. What was infuriating was that when that was released, only network, multiplayer network, not the MMO solution, a lot of people came, can't you just make it like that game? And we were, holy shit, if you only knew. But yeah, it's a lot of inspiration, right? Most games are inspired from each other in one or another way, or, and every now and then we take a little bit new leaps forward in new directions. And we're trying to obviously take a big leap forward now in a true sandbox MMORPG, and not just continue the casual theme park direction that 99% of the industry is heading, tied behind microtransaction, pay to win, and a lot of crap that just ruins the gaming experience. We are here to change that future, guys, together. Why didn't you sue them? It's not that simple. If you're a small company and there isn't like, it isn't like they stole codes, right, that some other have been doing. Again, if you are inspired and see, oh shit, they did it like that, that is a very clever way. Let's do it like that. It's something you usually can't sue someone for doing that. And we were also like, new in the industry and thought it was cool to talk to different developers, learn from other developers and other games as well, and just wish good luck to everyone else. And we did what we could, right? So, we weren't interested in obviously, going into any dev conflict whatsoever in the world. We were just happy to do our own thing and, mingle with other developers every now and then. Table games next, eh? We want them for sure, right? There will be something like combat, PvE, RP elements in those different groups, right? And then there will be some options within those, and hopefully we can pinpoint some stuff. Mountain Blade Direction combat has been around too longer than MO. Come on, man. Or Greg, we released our first beta, what was it? Long before that, and that's when they contacted us. So no, it's not correct. I don't remember the year. Like I said, 2005, 6. I don't remember exactly. But we had our combat system very early on running. That was the first backbone, and then we were working on the entire. The biggest challenge, obviously, the network solution. How the hell do we make this large scale? Not just. I started before. I also started the company before it got publicly listed. The Maker. We got publicly listed 2007, if I'm not mistaken, right, on the stock market. But I started the company 2005. So yeah, quite a few years now. Crazy when you think about it. You played MO1 Alpha, eh? Yep. Good old days. Came out 2008. Yeah, that was a few years after our first prototype. I mean, we were also at Epic Games, right? Talking to their team, going through our technology, how it could be done, what we could do. They were, obviously talented developers that gave us a lot of input. But they also said, man, you're crazy trying to do this in large scale. That's a challenge. And they were surprised we were such a small team. But, we were very passionate and we knew that we wanted to do something unique. We didn't just want to do another one of those casual things, right? But obviously, it was a challenge, that's for sure. I was here before MO1TC. Yeah, the Maker. Yeah. I understand. We're getting in this on the sound system yet. We haven't. I have just kind of glanced through it, right? Like, if you think about EVE Online's security system from high sec to null sec, that is a baseline that we're looking at also. From obviously Tinram, the main starting cities have high sec, right? Like 1.0. They're gonna be very much guarded, powerful guards. that make sure you can't just be killed left and right and griefed and go through pure pain. That's where you start as a new player, right? And the game is already challenged and quite steep learning curve, and there's a lot to adapt to. So, but as soon as you start heading out from the city, it goes down in security, right? It's still within their nation zones, which means you can get reported. There will be patrolling guards, barracks and such, so you can still kind of be close to security as a new player. And also, obviously, those areas will be limited in high reward, right? Naturally. And then when you step even further out, you go to null-sec, which means there are no security whatsoever. There's no flagging system to attend to because, you know, what goes without any reports or identification. And also, this is where you can find, you know, the highest reward along with the risk. So that is like a base backend system for this. We're also going to be expanding on the task nation standing system that also ties to more rewards and steps in where you lose these privileges to the nations if you go down. So it's going to be much more interesting. It's also going to help players to get into the game, you know, work for the nations, make a living, expand their character in a more interesting way, and easier for those that have no clue what to do in Mortal 9. We see everyone jump in on Haven and they recognize them like any other MMO. Okay, here's like a tutorial, I go through that, no problem, I learn about it, it's cool. But then they leave and it's a complete lottery. Depending on what city they pick, who they run into, if they run out in the wild, and they also ask, what do they do now? There's no task, no quest, no nothing. They're clueless. And if they don't interact with the proper group of players or know what they want to do, we lose them. And we can't just have it like that, right? So we are fixing that entire starting progression, protecting them more, giving them task options so they can actually, okay, now I'm in here, I'm in Milan. Now the adventure starts, right? Okay, I want to learn more about fighting, making a living as a fighter, or I want to be a crafter. And then they can work for the nation, doing tasks and stuff like that to learn that, progress into that, and start making a living, right? And obviously over time, they will be more interested in what more is there to do in this huge world with thousands of players running around, right? And obviously we want to always promote them to engage with other players, other groups, like-minded groups or whatever they want, because that is a very big impact when it comes to when the game experience grows even more, right? You all know about that. So yeah, that is a big important system going in with Epic Games. Profo. Wait, I did get a message. Where the hell did I get that? Let me see. Didn't I get a message? Yeah, Slurpees Joe with the donation. Thank you very much. Hi, Henrik. What quality of life feature do you have in mind? I feel like MN2 doesn't respect players' time given how long it takes to do anything in the game. We need some kind of fast travel on roads or gating at high cost like UO something. I see exactly where you're coming from with that question, right? And it's a double-edged sword because, so like many of you know, most of you know, is that I'm heavily inspired from Ultima Line, right? Where we go a little bit apart is where we add new functions, features, and actually gaming experience that you or didn't have, where we think could be a big thing in Mortal 9. And that is actually regional based action, resources, happenings, allies, sieges. If all of that is regional based in a big, living, believable world, all of a sudden you can see how many doors opens for very real life, exciting opportunities. Transporting goods, sending friends and reinforcement for your allies. And if you can just click a button and be left and right, up, down in the world in 1 second, you bypass the entire, we have a window, we need to fight fast, we need to cut their supplies, we need to do an ambush, throw all of that in the trash bin. And like I said, when you build your base and there's more things in every different regions, you have localized enemies and friends, and you're there participating. Your friends may need help in the other side of the world. Do you have enough time to travel there and support them? You know, there's so many things that actually we now, for the first time ever with TC, can actually start enjoying and dig into. So, and Ultima Online didn't have anything of this, right? Because they had that not possible due to the moon gates, right? So there we are actually trying to add more content that will grow and be more exciting and rewarding over time, the more feature we have to promote it, rather than just throw all that in a bin and making it a teleportation game and, you know, drop that. So do you see what I'm talking about here? I mean, this has been a topic over the year also. Every now and then people, you know, need to be refreshed that we're actually getting features now that actually promote what we have been talking about, and it starts with TC, right? So I think that now when we actually finally get TC, this is gonna start playing a role, right? So if you can just go to your allies across the world in 1 second and there's a siege, and they thought, what the hell is going on? Now their allies is coming from inside the walls. What the fuck? We closed them down. We're trying to siege them. We're trying to starve them. And then all of a sudden, magically, 100 people appears from nowhere. They got supplies, you know. So you see what I'm talking about here. And that can be epic because it's, again, quite rare that those kind of cool function can happen. When it comes to not respecting time, that if you feel it's boring to travel a lot, nothing happens, obviously that is something we're going to work with, right? We want to make sure that there's enough different features and happenings. So when you're out traveling, there's going to be surprises, there's going to be rewards, risk rewards, and you can run into things that, holy shit, you weren't aware of this. Holy shit, this is interesting. There's a cool excitement, reward or risk, whatever that may be. And we want to add a system that also makes the game feel alive and interesting when you travel it. So obviously you're very correct when it comes to that. It shouldn't feel dead and boring to travel long distances. We fully agree on that, right? But you see where we try to promote new features that haven't really been seen in many other games. And we want to try to combat where there are empty, boring areas and nothing of interest. Obviously, if we have a huge detailed world, we want to make sure there's a lot to benefit from all the regions, not only one, some of them. So does that make sense to people in here what I'm trying to cover? And where I agree with you, Slappiest Joe. Traveling is not boring, it makes for valuable exploration gameplay and gives cause of social interaction. PvP, robbery, friendly encounters, bold robbery, absolutely. And like I said, I think that is an important feature, but I also still think that we can improve that experience. Like I said, we have a lot of areas that are boring, empty, and you know, we already have plans to make sure that the game feels more exciting, more alive, and there will be random encounters that spice things up. So when you're just traveling around the world, it should still keep feeling exciting and okay, what's going to happen today? Let's just run out and have an adventure. That should be possible anywhere where you go. Even though you explore the entire world, there should be keeping added new encounters, new risk rewards, and holy shit, what the hell is going on now? And yeah, absolutely world bosses, right? Events and world bosses that spice things up. So this shouldn't be a problem the further we go. With more encounters, more random encounters, invasions, dynamic invasions that we started in the first game, world bosses, you know, more players living spread out in the world. I think that this is not going to be a problem anymore because it's going to feel like, holy shit, there's stuff going on everywhere eventually in different areas and different features of the game. So that is the goal, right? To reach more of that when it comes to traveling the world. I mean, you can't bring a wagon of resources to help your friend if you need to travel there past the enemy lines, right? You cut them off. But if you can obviously teleport in, reinforce them from the inside, there's different scenarios where, you know, balance gets wrecked a little bit when it comes to that. The jungle is going to get a lot of updates along with Epic Games especially. You're going to be able to venture through, explore the jungle and find new things every now and then. And we're gonna keep adding more and more. There are certain moments in the future development where you are sure the game is going to get the recognition it deserves. I hopefully think, you know, we're already starting a little bit with that with TEC, but greatly doing that with the Epic Game release. Because if you think about it, what we deliver with the Epic Game release, there's such a big component that there's already going to be a lot of influencers and YouTubers covering that because it's Christmas Day for them to make a video of that, because we're showing world first things that they want to make YouTube videos of. So it's a win-win, obviously. Hopefully that will give us big leaps forward. And yeah, hopefully we'll start getting some highly deserved attention from sandbox interest players across the world. We're also taking the step to finally translate everything in the game website to the big 8 languages in the world. There have been some reach out from some publishers in some of these regions that says, you know, we have an audience that could be interested in this game, but the only way for us to actually get our players into the game is we need to have it translated, we need to support the payment solutions. There are requirements for those regions. And we're not talking about a few thousand players, we're actually talking about a few 100,000 players. So obviously there are very exciting opportunities to cover over time also. Is it giveaway time, you think? Give me a moment, guys. I think we covered PTR, right? I'll cover everything there. Obviously, if you came in late, it's gonna be on the website shortly. So you will see all the steps and plans. So you won't miss that. Okay, I started the giveaway sign up now. So you can type !2. And we will have that running in the background here. Maps that shows you where you are to defeat the purpose of a medieval game. So that have always also been a small battle, right? Depending on who we're talking about. I mean, even in the team, we fully understand that all MMOs today have an auto map with you on it, and you just blindly run on it, and you have no clue about the world. You don't learn how to navigate the world. You don't need to. There is no reward for it. But all that is highly important in the Mortal Line 2. And you all know what I'm talking about when you're running around fighting enemies. If you don't know the world, you don't know how to get to A to B, how to fight in this area, how to utilize the terrain, you are fucked, right? And that's not a thing in most other MMOs because, you know, first of all, you don't have that kind of player conflict in most other games. You know, in WoW, it's the PvP arena is completely different thing, right? There's no requirement to learn navigating the world, explore the world, use your eyes, use your brain, because you just follow the question mark and an arrow, right? And we can see that that have become the standard because that's where all the MMO players started to play in huge generations, right? And everyone else copied. So obviously we try to see where does it make sense to reach out to more players and make it easier for people to get into the game without sacrificing and dumbing down the game that actually makes the game exciting and interesting and rewarding, right? So that's why we're careful about just adding all those auto functions, that is WoW clones. And we noticed for the absolute majority of the players, new and old, I really like the exploration that you can become a freaking group guide to learn how to find in the jungle and know how to travel the world, and you know, all that becomes important, right? Especially in player conflicts and when there's a lot of stuff going on. So but I mean, there's still a lot of room for quality of life updates to make it more refined and proper player feedback, just to make it clear, right, for everyone, including WoW players showing up shouldn't have to Google things, how to do things, right? That's obvious on us. We need to make sure the game cover the feedback and information in a proper way, at least, that anyone can get going if they, you know, or at least the slightest interested in playing the game. Banana Destroyers. I think all veterans that have been playing for, I don't know, X thousand players know the map like inside their pocket. Am I not correct, guys? veterans in here. I mean, I can probably go to the jungle and just look around me, and then it will take not long until players find me. I did that once during the stress test, remember? I started looking straight down in the jungle, and I thought this is gonna take a year. Then I looked up a little bit, bam, after 20 minutes, a group came and killed me. So, but obviously there are people that have very hard, skills of, what is it called? Orientation, awareness skills, right? Some people can be completely lost always because they lack that skill, right? But I think many of our veterans, especially awareness, yeah, I think the majority of our veterans just need a glance at the screen, bam, they know exactly where they are, and they can find that very quickly. But obviously it's something that takes time, right? It's a huge world, and you need to travel it a lot from city to city, and you're gonna learn it, right? I mean, I haven't had the time to play the game enough with my friends and travel the world and do things, so I'm worse than you guys when it comes to finding my own way in the most efficient way when it comes to running around in the world, which is a little bit embarrassing, right? Because everyone take it for granted. No, hell no, you're not the real Henrik. You don't even know how to reach jungle camp. No, sorry. So yeah, you know what I mean. Has Jake ganked yet? I have ganked Jake. Was quite a while ago. I was more refining my skills. I ganked him. I killed him. I took his head. I don't think he have killed me once. No. But then I haven't played a lot since then. I told him, you little bastard, I killed you. It was quite fun. You can never guess on what character. And he was so how do you say it? So affected. Yeah, shit. I forgot about the little sneak peek, guys. Let me show you now while you sign up also. But I'm sure, I think Jake will beat me today in a duel because I haven't practiced or refined my dueling skills for a long time. And if you don't keep them up to date, you fall behind quickly. During the combat beta, I kept them quite high. I was in the top, I would say, on the server. And I loved group fights. I had a lot of group fight with people. It was really, really fun. And then release and chaos have struck, and I simply haven't been able to spare time to keep any of the skills up. And I fell behind greatly. But if I get some opportunity to refine my skills, I'm sure I will go quite up again. Wouldn't be in the top field, but I will be in the higher at least. How often do you play? Like I said, sadly I haven't had time now, so it's so much is crazy going on, and even though we've slowly been growing in team, there's always so much that I have to be involved with, and it takes all my hours when I'm awake, and I try to make sure I keep my health in some order, keeping track of that so I can be here in the long run, right? But I would love to be able to participate more. I'm really missing group fights. I love that. Just chilling with nice people and having a really nice, fair fight. Maybe there will be more opportunity for me to participate in that. Maybe somewhere along with the TC content. At the same time, obviously, I don't want players to feel that, holy shit, I'm fighting on our side. That's corruption. He's cheating, so now that side is winning, Obviously, I need to be careful and not sending those kind of vibes, because that would be, insulting myself, right? I would never do something like that. But at the same time, I want to enjoy the game, right? So it's a trick one. Obviously, I won't change the outcome of any battle because, like I said, I'm not in the top tier anymore, and I can only do so much. So, but I played quite regularly a moment ago with some real life friends, and we had a blast. It's so fun just to run around in the world with a small group of friends really well, and some crazy things happen, and we laughed to death. It was so fun. So I'm obviously missing that, right? And I'm sure I'm gonna be more. There are gonna be sessions when I'm back playing, and every now and then you hear me in the game. Sometimes I disguise myself a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to do that. I have a Henrik character, which obviously I'm publicly Henrik on, but I also have some undercover characters where I try to enjoy the game as a player, right? My tweet is more about living in Nave rather than anything. That is true. That is true. I mean, you can ghost cross the map, but it is limited, right? It's still like it's still not teleporting you there in 1 minute. Damn man, I don't think I fought you. I don't think so. I have fought Ogmir, the little bastard. He didn't know it was me, and the outcome was inclusive. Not inclusive. What the hell is the word I'm looking for? Robert, have I fought you? What is your character name? Inconclusive. Exactly. That's the word. Thank you. And games, new players in the graveyard. Games, new players? Nah, so I'm obviously always helpful, right? And I also... Oh, Greg, that's true. I've been in Tinium hit in the pipe. That is true. That is true. You know, it's always fun, you know. It's a unique experience every now and then when I jump in and a stranger stops next to me and say hello, and I start talking to him, hello, and he says, "Are you new to the game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit." You know, trying to not give it away. And he's like, "Hey, do you need any help?" And oh shit, very friendly, right? Awesome experience. And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just going on and doing my stuff." And then eventually he said, "Well, you want to join our guild? We're a nice group of," and he introduced his group, and just a awesome experience with any random player. And it's awesome to see that there's so many nice people that just socialize and want to help if they see you're a little bit lost or new or anything. One versus one may beat me and I'll make 5 new build guys for newbies. Damn man, I'm sure you play a lot, right? Like I said, I'm not in the top anymore, so I'm quite rusty. I need to practice my skills to get back up on a decent level, I think. No, I'm always nice, obviously, to any players. I don't. It don't feel right for me to be a bad player against anyone because, of logical reasons, right? I feel like every citizen of Nave is my children, and obviously I have to take care of my children, right? Even the naughty ones, I try to educate and put on the right path. You know. You're picking on new bros. New bros? Who's new bros? Yes, Dad. After 16, 17 years of creation of Nave, it's natural that you feel like my children, right? You are the population of Nave, and I'm one of the creators of Nave. It's a natural feeling, right? Talking about you, Jake. Sounds like a paladin. I mean, in my younger days playing you, or when I didn't have that responsibility, I wasn't anyone's father. Obviously, I could be a little bit more on the bad side. I played all sides, right? I was a murderer, I was a master thief, and I was one of the best thief on the server. I learned new things that no one else could, and it was fun, right? But the older I get, the more pain I felt when I did any of these thefts against the innocents. and now it just feels awful. I couldn't do it anymore, right? So I think a little bit along with age, I guess, you know, some more passion, what's it called? Compassion, right? I think compassion grows on you. Or is it only me? I mean, after all, I'm 40 now. I'm not a teenager anymore. My brain is devolved. I have more empathy and compassion indeed. And I didn't have as much in a teenager, that's for sure. I could do some theft without feeling the pain that I feel today. Robin Hood, Henrik. Yeah, well, sure, if I know this is a bastard, you know, I can do some naughty things. Compassion is for the weak. I mean, you know, again, I guess it's also, especially since I think it's a big difference when I'm the grandfather of the world, right? I think that is a big role. Obviously, if I played World of Warcraft, I guess I wouldn't care as much. You know what I mean. Grey Fox confirmed. What the hell? Peek to sneak. Absolutely. All right. Let me show you the Dire. The Dire bastard. All right. Chicka-bam! Enjoy. What do you think of these beasts? I do have to punish my children sometime. Indeed. And I do. We have a firm grip when it comes to stepping over some of the boundaries, right? You like it? What? I think it's really cool, right? And we do you see it that we made a chain section for where the mane is, you know, here on the neck, because that mohawk makes it look very unique and cool, right? And we wanted the fur to stick through, so we made chains here, make an opening so we could see the mohawk. Pretty cool, right? Boom. Yeah, I think it looks cool. And again, it's the same type of style of the heavy plate armor that we deploy now on all the creatures, including the horses eventually, right? So, and I think it's a really nice design. I like it a lot. It's a rough, you know, sturdy, plate-ish armor. And you're gonna see that on the horse as well. And I'm looking forward to that. Rathaus TV, thank you for the subscription. Yeah, boy, let's go. Yeah, boy. 3 of those, they will be lower level, and if you have proper gear, you kill them quickly. Anuxa, thank you for the bits. Looks awesome. We are very happy that you like the design. Yes, please, new horse, heavy armor. I'm tired of the one we have. Yeah, I agree. I think this one is more fitting and suitable and harsh, and it fits the harsh world in a better way. So yeah, this will be the plate for all. One of the set for all. I mean, you jump to the conclusion that it's going to be horribly broken by the look of the armor. Is that your conclusion? We're quite careful when it comes to bumping their defense values. We know Direwolf. We have nerfed the Direwolf when they were too powerful. We gave some options to counter them, and we tweaked them. We made sure you can't have high tier levels, many of them. So obviously we done work there, right? And we haven't set the final numbers when it comes to the defense values and speed penalties. We all know speed is king, right? So we have some things coming that obviously gotta make sure that balance is in a better state. We're also looking at a huge update that could make the synchronization of every single AI strike to be extremely accurate. The only downside is it's close to impossible to have the same accuracy on players because of the MMO network solution worldwide. And you all know what I'm talking about, right? There's always a distance where you can get hit. You need to learn to adapt to that and, like embrace that this is gonna hit even though it looks like it's missing, and you learn that, right? Everyone learns that. So the difference would be that all of a sudden the AI is super accurate, so you can actually dodge them, it will be a little bit easier to fight all AI. But the only thing that worries me is that the players needs to learn and be aware of there are two different systems behind players and AI. Would you accept that? Would you accept very accurate AI fights? You can really dodge them and still have the same, because it's a network solution, it depends on when it comes to player hits. Do you see what I mean? As long as that is acceptable, that you actually have really, you see, okay, he's missing me and he's missing you when it comes to AI. I think that we could, obviously the PvE experience would be improved with that, right? And bosses could be more like, you know, those classic boss fight games, yeah, Elden Ring, where you can really dodge them and know you're fine. And obviously we have to refine the numbers a little bit, because now you're going to be able to dodge them and they're going to miss more. Obviously that affects balance heavily. So that would go up, right? But the players also then needs to, you know, have the kind of separation that I know there's still the latency distance difference on play interactions. As long as that's accepted by everyone, and that's fine, we could make that happen, actually. Rather have an archer aim and shoot at me rather than them lasing me to death. So AI archer, they still need to have a line of sight, right? They have to be able to actually shoot the arrow from him to you. If there's a tree or building in the way, they won't shoot, right? But yeah, there's one function that aren't really where it should be, which means he can never miss. As long as he's within range and he see you, he never misses, which is a little bit obviously different from a player on that distance when you're moving around. It's very hard to hit someone far away, right? But AI never misses as long as you're in range. There's supposed to be a miss ratio when it's in that range to mimic where a player also have difficulties hitting you. That is not in place yet, which is obviously a big thing when it comes to ranged attack, right? Can we get an option to regulate the game at 30 FPS? Do you wanna cap the game at 30? Is there a specific reason? So, Craves, the problem is that the team now knows how we need to build things to secure AI behavior inside around dungeon and objects and so on. It's been a long process. The system may be updated many times, and that also rely on new functions added on nav mesh and collision data that this AI uses. And there are still locations in the world. It's a huge world. There are still plenty of locations where that isn't updated to fit the new AI, which means they will cut corners through small wall sections, cut through different types of objects, and obviously make it look less polished. We can solve and improve all of these areas. It's just a huge manpower task. And obviously, eventually we want to cover all those specific dungeon locations where it's as worst. And then every new single dungeon we place and add to the game obviously follow the new system, which should mean it's a good experience. Like, you know, for instance, the Mortal dungeon, Necro dungeon, we haven't really got any reports that, you know, the AI suffers there, such as in some of the Risa dungeon locations, right? So it's quite clear that we need to do the work in those locations where it's as worst. 30 FPS I can play on an alt on my laptop doing things like mining without frying the board. I see. Yeah, I mean, it isn't too hard to add where you can type in your, I guess, your own preferred FPS cap. Maybe we can add that in one upcoming patch. Yeah. All right, shall we do the giveaway, guys? If you just tune in, follow !M2, and I will roll it in a minute. Giveaway draw. Why such heavy focus on pets? I wouldn't say it's a heavy focus on pets. Pets and AI PvE is, you know, another big role in the world, such as anything else. And the entire team can only work on certain areas. Some things are locked behind other things that other people are doing. So it's always a little bit of a kind of like putting a puzzle together to optimize the team development and all the manpower, and at the same time try to prioritize what's most important and focus on issues first of all, and so on. So I wouldn't say pets is the main focus. Absolutely not. Right now it's TC only, I would say. This is just an artist that finished the armor, and that artist is done with all his TC work. There's nothing more he can do other than finish some of these things that he's been working on the side. And I thought it was a nice little sneak peek for those that are interested. That's all. Henrik, you don't remember me killing you, eh? With my banana mage. What, Mad King? What the hell are you talking about? Did you kill my Henrik character or what? I have to refresh my memory, Mad King. The Acreps is coming back. They're coming back. You know, the originals came from the Sarga continent, right? Scorpion-like creature, right? Pretty cool one. Do you think you will ever make a Doomsday event? What is a Doomsday event? There will be events and invasions and boss events that will shake the world of Nave. And it's all about the players' action towards that will shape the world's future. Still waiting on my bear armor. We're getting there, slowly but steady. Slowly but steady. Anuxa, thank you for the bits. Any plans to add legendary pet armor? That could absolutely be possible. It should be following the same system as any crafting, right? So it's just, again, we need to make versions for that, but I think that's absolutely something we can keep expanding on in the future. You can get more locations to make Chronite Ogmium. There will be meteor drops falling on Milan that may include different resources and other things to mine and discover. And I think meteor drops is something that many people vote on quite high when it comes to expanding on TC, because that's another really cool, fun feature that keep expanding TC conflicts on an ongoing battle, small skirmishes battles, that is really nice and fun without having to go full out, right? So I think that would be a popular feature that many will vote for, because people had a lot of fun doing that in the first game. So absolutely, I think that would be should be an early one. Right, shall we do the giveaway, guys? I think it's time. We are already above the 2-hour mark. What about make east of jungle a lawless zone? So with the zone system with Epic Game Patch, there's gonna be plenty of lawless zones on Milan, including jungle areas. Just wait. I'm looking for any answer on whether gambling is coming to the game with TC update drop or not. I don't know is a good answer though. Too. You're getting dice throw with TC. That's all for now. So you will be able to throw a dice and anyone near you see what you are throwing and they can participate, right? So a little simple system. You can roll the dices pretty much. And then we have plans to implement Blackjack and Texas Hold'em as table games. Death rolling it is. That too. That too. Blood demons eat. You need a demon knowledge to know that. It's good enough. At least some official random roll is possible. Nice. Yeah. We looked into it, and yeah, we could make it happen without too much. Obviously, again, no fancy arts dices being rolled and such, but very quickly we could at least add a function that you can throw the dices, and when you see what you're throwing, and they can also throw the dices. So yeah, or there you can do some casual dice throwing, right? All right, giveaway time. Good luck, everyone. I'm starting the giveaway. Let me see here. Let me remove that. And here we go. Good luck. Good luck. Have fun. Here we go. We haven't decided on the next magic school. We will let you decide it. You decide the fate of the next magic. And let's see. Who do we got today? Is it already rigged, Prezul? Here we go. Navy Styles is the winner. Congratulations. Congratulations. Navy Styles. Are you here, my friend? Definitely rigged. Definitely. Oh snap, it's not rigged. Oh yeah? Why, Funrunic? Is it a friend of yours? Holy shit, I'm here. There he is, guys. There he is. Alright, alright. Send me the DM and I will pass the code. Maybe. How old are you, my son? My child of Nave. How old are you, my son? When were you born in Nave? Let me find that key. Where the hell do I have it? Here. Henrik doesn't even know his children's age. Come on, Naga. I have so many children in Nave. How do I know? How do I keep track? I started a week after launch. Only mode to bet. So, mode to bet then. Mode to bet. Not too bad. Not too bad. There you are. Once again, congratulations. MO to bet. Been here for a while then. Yeah, I'm not sure if I recognize your name, if you are vocal in here or not. Yep. That was the giveaway. Let me go on here then. Alright. Henrik, let us become werewolves and vampires in game. We need a blood moon in the sky. Cora, we have future plans. Like I said, we're here when I talked about my book. The Book of Mortal. There's a book that is absolutely filled with very interesting features. The thing is, we're not really, as you noticed probably, we're not really copying other game themes such as the classic orc, the classic vampire, you know, stuff like that. We try to do our take on it. We are inspired by a lot of that, right? We're inspired by many movies and games and, you know, sagas. So, and that Phil is in Matt's responsibility. He's the mastermind when it comes to creating the lore, creating the why and explanation and depth behind everything. Thursar is the Rysar is the inspired orc, right? But as you can see, we tried to make our design on them, make them different and interesting. We call them Rysars, we don't call them orcs. And Thursar is the half-breed, right? But yeah, like I said, we are inspired by many other games and creatures. So with that said, if I know Mats correct, he wouldn't just place werewolf and vampires in the game, because then we will break that path, right? It will be something that you feel exciting, cool, it fits Mortal Line, and then you may draw the parallels like, wait a little minute here. They thrive on blood and gain power from blood. And you can draw the conclusion, is that a vampire, or is that something similar, or is it something different? And that is one of the cool things in Mortal Line universe as well. People experiment and wonder, is this material, mercury? Stuff like that, to try to figure things out. So, and I love that. Mats do that really, really well. So yeah. Thursar are orcs. And claiming they are not is mental gymnastic. The Thursar isn't orcs. I would say if that logic will be applied, it will be Rysars or orcs, right? Thursar are half orcs with that logic. But yeah, the Rysar is pretty much our take on orcs, right? You see some similarities. They are a main opponent in that way. But yeah, and of course we have the Ogmirs, exactly. They are inspired by the wolves. You may see some parallels there as well. But we always try to make our own IP in universe and lore behind everything. And the lore is so deep and cool. I really love Mats' lore. He don't just create a race, he creates the entire freaking from birth, and there's secrets, everything. There's so much secret and exciting thing that I really want to make sure that we start adding those elements in the game. And this is something that we're also starting with, along with the new AI, guys, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of secret and cool things that when you discover them, your mind will be blown. It's like a freaking movie. I love it. And I really want to make sure we start adding more of that over time. Because obviously that will give you more depth and cool things that you didn't have a clue about. Give me my own flavor and takes on things is great to build a world, and I like it. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't have that kind of mind that can create that kind of depth and, cool, complicated lore, and with depth and logic behind it that really surprises you when you read it and hear about it. That's why, obviously, I'm very happy to have Mats creating that core and baseline for Mortal Line. He's really, really talented when it comes to that. He has a mastermind when it comes to, creating a universe that is believable and, Nave. Yeah, tomorrow we're starting with the live phase. So there's no TCO content feature update. We just monitor and take very important data. You play just as normal. There will be an influx of additional players joining in, and we will do our job there. It starts tomorrow and it will run through the entire weekend. If you know people that want to try the game that are hesitant, you can tell them to grab a key where we're going to have it posted tomorrow, and they can join you for free during this phase. And then next week we have the PTR final confirmation and siege and recording. Baldur's Gate is out though. Yeah. Baldur's Gate is a big game, right? I haven't followed its development and progression, so I don't know if that's gonna conflict with new player interest at this time. I don't know, but we will do what's necessary anyway. We will collect the data. Did you buy players to test it? No, we have a network collaboration with the largest network in the world that has a lot of MMO players. And hopefully a few will sign up and try the game, right? It's for free, so there's no reason not to do it if you are the slightest interested in the game. And they will have that opportunity during the entire weekend. Is Baldur's Gate... When did it release? I haven't checked it. Hype by tomorrow. Ah, okay. So yeah, a little conflict there. But like I said, we will have the data we need anyway. So, but yeah, obviously there's every now and then there are some big releases, and sometimes we can't just change all our schedule based on that. I mean, we have our face. Ah, jeez, got a cut in my finger here. So tomorrow it is. All right. Yep. Yeah, I played the old Baldur's Gate when it was released. I enjoyed that. It was a nice journey and adventure. But then over time, the first Baldur's Gate, I think it was, I could really enjoy that. But then I think something happened with age and being busy. But since then, it was one of the few single player adventure I could enjoy and really spend my time in. But after that, I haven't really, when I tried some of those games that are supposed to be good and great, and many are, right? I can't really, I don't know why, and I feel a little bit sad. I can't really fully enjoy spending my time in a great single player game and feel that it's fully satisfying as it was before. I feel, I don't know, I'm not getting fully out of it. I want to be able to enjoy more of that experience with other people and players and friends. That gives me so much more that I have problems enjoying fully single player games anymore. Maybe it's age, and like I said, because I'm very busy working on Mortal 9. But at the same time, it's a little bit sad because I can miss that time when, oh, a really nice game. I want to sink in some hours and really enjoy it. But whenever I do it today, I can't anymore. So yeah, maybe a combination of stress, age, and being too busy building this game. I don't know. Because yeah, I really like the first Baldur's Gate, but then I have had problems getting into new in other similar games. But yeah, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But Gate 3 isn't a single player game? No, it has multiplayer support, right? And obviously that's a big thing. But I played the first one as a single player game, and I really enjoyed that journey and adventure. I thought it was nice. But what I'm saying is that I don't get the same kind of enjoyment anymore in single player adventure like that I did get more some years ago. And I was thinking, why is that? I have some nostalgic feeling and excitement for some games that I want to follow up on and pick up, and when sequels are coming, but I never get back to that golden feeling anymore. But yeah. But anyway, I think that's all for this stream, right? As to me, I can't enjoy a game that is not an online MMO. True sandbox, the only true ones I know are Mortal 9 2, Eve, and getting there to another degree, Star Citizen. Yeah, I fully agree. Those are the types of games that I also feel I can fully enjoy them. It feels great to invest time in them and enjoy that with friends and people. I feel I'm on the same page that it must be those type of games for me to fully be able to enjoy them today. I was a huge gamer in the past and I enjoyed so much, but I don't enjoy as much anymore, which feels a little bit sad. But yeah. Titusa, sorry, I didn't look into that one, sorry. Yeah, I'm sure Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game, right? I mean, Baldur's Gate was a great game, big big company, made a really good stuff. So I'm sure the newest one will do good as well. But I don't think, sadly, I will have time to try it out. Maybe I can check some streams on it to get a little small taste. But yeah, obviously Mortal 9 will take all my time until we're taking over the world together. I mean, that's the thing. You should be able to enjoy and do things just like in all those games, including Baldur's Gate. There was some magic in there and nice experience that you will eventually have more of in Mortal 9 as well. But in a real living world with thousands of other players. That's why I think that kind of setting is superior, because it has that, it can have that and more, and ever expanding. And that's what I like with these types of game. Remind me a lot of Sven Winke, the excitement and passion you guys have for your games. Not like these big corp companies who are soulless. Yeah, I mean, those big companies usually have a hired CEO that isn't a gamer in the same way, right? And try to just focus on CEO tasks, and then they are bored. You know, suit people that only focus on the money, want to make pay to win stuff, microtransaction, because, you know, it's easier to gather players that way. And all of that slowly, obviously, sacrifice some soul and gaming experience in these type of game. That's why I think that we have a golden opportunity to make a one-of-a-kind sandbox MMO together here. And, you know, we're starting taking one big step with Mortal with TC, and then Epic Games. We will take over the world, is the plan. 170 hours of cinematics in Baldur's Gate 3. It's a TV show. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, if it's cinematic, there are some really talented cinematic makers out there that makes it kind of like a movie, yeah. All right, guys. Shall we do a little raid today? Gonna make the demons for Model 1 with the portal and boss and shit. We're gonna have demons in Mortal 2, yes, but they will be corrected this time around. Again, there was a few mistakes made in Mortal 1 when artists worked on things and it wasn't tied to some of the lore bits written, and design wasn't fully followed or couldn't be followed for various reasons. So yeah, we will absolutely add our demons again, but in the correct way, and they will look different, they will behave a little bit different, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Henrik, what's good with you? What's good with me? What do you mean, Hasla TV? What's good with me? A lot of these companies are like Baldur's Gate 3 is normally don't expect big things out of games from the rest of us. Meanwhile, MO2 like, yeah, we small, but the sky is the limit anyway. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we're underdogs, right? Small company, we don't have any giants backing us up. We don't have the insane marketing resources that could put a crappy game to be hyped to insanity, have great sales, and then to crash after that hype going down. You know, we're here for the long run, and we try to show that we are serious here. This is our passion, and we don't give up when we hit bumps and challenges on our road and journey. And as long as we have a community that is backing us up, or exciting to play the game and future content and support us and help us, obviously we're going to continue, right? It's a obvious thing for us, and we're just getting to very juicy content that also makes it more exciting and fun for us developers to take those steps and also enter new grounds that are like feeling like whole new projects. You know, after a certain while, when we, for instance, the boat ship system, that's like creating a whole new game. It's very exciting for the developers to create the models, to create the crafting system, to create the wave and sailing system, the siege machineries on them, you know, building them and having insights, content that expand ships and treasure hunting and diving. I mean, that is exciting because after a few months of working on one thing, you slowly get tired of it, right? And then you know, you finally get to this new exciting feature. So that is also one of the things why we never get fully bored of making this huge project, because it feels like we're making many small games over time, right? And it never ends. That's the beauty also, and we love making games. So this is one of our dream position also for those that are interested in building new, challenging, cool features every now and then. So that's also unique for us, right? If you're in a big company, you're mostly more restricted into one extreme thing and factory made and produce that. So it's quite different, right, from being in a small indie company like Direwolf. And you know, that's also, I guess, one of the reasons why we never really get tired of working hard on this game. I mean, 16 years, that's quite crazy, right? I mean, I don't know, there's not that many games, I guess, that have been in development for so many years straight. Obviously there's a few, right? But every now and then we enter new grounds, new features that makes it very exciting, both for us developers and obviously the players getting that content. Are we getting a crew together for sailing and diving? Yep, it's gonna be awesome. You know, I've been watching a lot of sailing boat ship game systems, from single player, multiplayer to MMOs. There's some cool stuff out there, and I think we can do something again, Mortal unique, very cool, with the new technology as well on Unreal 5. And just again, you know, we can open up the gates for all those Sea of Thieves and all the other ship pirates out there. You know, join Mortal. It's gonna be cooler, better, and in a game world where you can do everything else also over time. So I have a few friends playing Sea of Thieves and they love it. They say the day you deliver the ship system Mortal line, if it's just remotely close to, you know, what we set up as a goal, they're gonna join in. And they have some groups with a few thousand players. They're crazy large. So we're gonna have obviously new influx of players with some of those upcoming new features as well. It's gonna be interesting. You may become a demon to be strong like Thursa will fucking epic. Yep, you know, talking about the Jedi system, there will be some specific things you will be able to become that are quite unique. Even on paper, in theory though, mechanically alone, you should be able to appreciate the longest range spell casting, low mana, and having cheap cost versus elementals and necro spells with high damages. OP as fuck. Okay, so you're talking about some spells there. What about 5 continents? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. One of the continents will be full underwater. That is correct, Stain. One continent have sunken underwater. Obviously makes sense to have the ship system along with that kind of content, right? So yeah, there's a long future of very exciting features and content for Mortal Line 2. We're just in the beginning, guys. Villa pirate gangs, let's go. Burn the midnight oil today. And if you can share about the veteran system, I think I shared the basics I could share. I don't know if you heard that before, but I have gone through it a little bit, you know, how that's going to work. One of the things that we want to add and expand on is ever-going expansion on your gaming experience. Obviously, you want to make sure that if you play 1 year and grind on a character into infinity, like it becomes like a level. You're level 60 and you're hitting level 10 noobs without any effort. That will never be a thing, as you know. But we have a very good design, I believe, on the veteran system, which allows you to expand a little bit, additionally refine your character, accessing more skill points and such, getting small bonuses that are, you know, everyone can progress in this without extreme effort, just playing the game, right? And there will also be an infinite status that shows you're the freaking king of everyone on this island because of your stats that you obtain becoming a real veteran, right? So I think it's going to be a good addition to keep on expanding, refining your character, and also getting some fluffy bragging rights, right? It's never bad. Yeah, we need to put the bounty system on the upcoming roadmap. again, we want your help to prioritize it. There's only a few things that were a little bit like an experiment and we weren't sure it's going to work, so we didn't want to invest all our development time if it was one patch after, if the community said, no, this doesn't work, it isn't fun, it has no future. And obviously it would be bad if we invested weeks of development in that. That's why it's lacking some of those obvious rewards, right? And obvious options to make it more accessible to enjoy it on a daily basis, right? But now when we actually see a lot of people are doing it, they enjoy it, and they also make the comments on the obvious. They want the rewards, they want short distance options and more options, right, to work as a bounty hunter. And that's absolutely planned for. So now when we have it confirmed, it works, it's fun, it has a, you know, a good system that a lot of people, more people can enjoy and do more of. We have a list of those things that we want to add. And obviously it could be good that we finalize those systems fully now, so people feel that we don't have any more half implemented or half finished systems. We fully see that point, right? And they may also not know that this was an experiment. We didn't believe it would work, but it actually does. So it makes sense to try to finish those, right, as soon as possible before we start into new big features. But again, I still think we want to make the community interaction. We're going to put including bounty hunting on that, just to make sure we see overall this is what the player base wants the most and earliest in the upcoming roadmaps. So we know it's going to be an exciting roadmap for everyone. All right. Opinion on players forcing certain resolution to increase field of view. Looks like crap when they stream it. I mean, when they break the resolution to try to get the feel of more field of view, kind of like how you did in Quake in the past. We will see. I don't know. We are so busy currently with TC in our lineup, but obviously we have to cover what we can in a certain order. Later on, Navy, you're welcome. All right, guys. I think this is it for me. I'm getting close to 3 hours. I try to keep them at 2 hours. That's a challenge sometime, but it's easy to linger around. But I don't want to bore you guys. I see the people leaving, so I think I call it a day here. Let's see, who do we have streaming today? Let me. Oh, what the hell? Let me do the poll, guys. One moment. Help me with who to raid, and then we will call it a day. All right, quick votes. Help me. 1 minute votes. We actually designed a 2-slot setup, kind of like Diablo, when you with one button could swap the weapons quickly. But then we thought that we can cover this in macro hotbars instead. So we'll do something of them soon, at least. Half time, 30 seconds left. Cast your vote on who to raid today. Lourdes in the lead currently. 15 seconds left. Will it be Lourdes today? Looks like it. Lourdes it is today, guys. Lourdes, a really good PvP player, I have to say. and a really nice streamer. So let's raid him then. I wanna thank you all as usual for participating, hanging out here, asking your questions, donations, subscriptions, and all of that. It's highly appreciated from me and the Starwell team. We thank you for all your supports. Let's raid Lourdes. Alright guys, have a wonderful evening. Let's show Lourdes some support. Let's say hello to him, and I will see you soon again. And yeah, have a good night, and see you soon. Alright, here goes the raid. Bye bye everyone.
Yo, how you doing, Henrik?